Welcome to Candid Football, where we give you honest, unfiltered football talk. No fluff, no agenda, just real opinions. I am Mamiesi, and today I have with me Samuel, the Candid Mastermind, a man who takes football very seriously and is never afraid to say exactly what he thinks. Samuel, you're welcome.
Thank you, Gloria.
Okay, let's talk football. So, Ghana is at the World Cup. We are in the Group L. We are competing with Panama, England, and Croatia. Before we actually get into it, Samuel, I would like you to use one word to describe Ghana's chances at this tournament.
Unpredictable.
Would you like to get into it a bit more?
I think the Ghana team didn't prepare well enough and is under a new coach. So even the teams that are
Okay.
going to face the team might not know what to expect, which team is going to turn up. So that's why
Mm,
I'm labeling it unpredictable.
right. That's actually a fair assessment. However, before we actually get into the bits about Ghana, the World Cup started a couple of days ago, and I would like to know what your impressions have been so far, or if you've been surprised by anything at all.
Okay, so personally, I'm very happy the African teams are not embarrassing themselves like how they normally do in other competitions. With the exception of South Africa and
Mm,
Tunisia, the African teams have done
right.
very well. But I've not been
Mm,
really surprised. There are a lot of people that tell me that they are surprised, but in the end, the World Cup has been won among 8 teams, and one of those 8 teams is
mm,
going to win the World Cup. So. But a lot,
yeah, definitely.
a lot of the teams are not um, balanced. You can see a team very good in defense, and then when they are attacking, they are not that good, or a team very good in attack. So most of the teams are not very balanced. But indeed, a lot of teams have closed the gap, and so you wouldn't see 5-0 scorelines like we probably
Mm,
were used to in the past.
right, right. So, having said all that, I am wondering if there's been any team so far that you would consider a potential dark horse or a potential champion.
Okay. So I think the usual favorites are still going to be favorites. Argentina is the defending champion.
Mm,
France is there. Portugal is there. I was impressed with Germany, but
mhm.
they need a stiffer opposition before I can draw proper conclusions because that was a team that was playing its first World Cup. They managed to score some goals,
Right.
yes. So, but Japan, it's just that I feel they play computer football. It's kind of,
How do you mean?
I mean, well, for one, they could be toppled with set pieces, but the kind of football it's exciting though. But I'll add them to my dark horses.
I see. I didn't hear you talk about any African country in your list.
Oh, Morocco will definitely qualify from their group, and
Mm,
I watch them and when they their transition is amazing, but when they get into the final third against Brazil, they should have won that game. But when they get into the final
mm,
third, I think they seem to run out of ideas. If they could sort that out,
mm,
they could go very far
I
because
see.
they got to the semi-final the last time. So
Oh, okay. Is it the same coach leading them this time around?
no, it's a new coach.
Okay, right. Let's get into Ghana, our beloved country. So, currently we are ranked 73rd in the world, and our first opponent, Panama, is ranked 34th. And so they are higher than Ghana. And do you have any thoughts on that? Does that concern you in terms of these rankings?
Okay, so these rankings, obviously, the rankings are based on football matches you play. But
Mm-hmm.
as we've seen in this tournament, Cape Verde are not ranked anywhere near Spain, but they were able to draw with Spain. Also, in the past,
Mm-hmm.
Ghana has beaten Serbia, as at the time they were ranked second in the world. So
Mm-hmm.
the rankings, it doesn't really bother me that much. But
Doesn't really
it
bother you much.
shows that we have been losing a lot of matches. So I hope with the new coach, things can change.
Yeah, actually, speaking of that, so we have a new coach with limited experience when it comes to preparation matches. I would like to know your thoughts on that. How much does that worry you going into the World Cup?
Okay, so if it wasn't for the lack of matches, because we played only one match, if it wasn't for that, I would
Mm-hmm.
be extremely confident going into this World Cup. But unfortunately,
Right.
how things turned up, I really wish this coach had played those friendly matches against Japan, um, Germany, Austria, South Korea. He probably would have chosen a different set of players. But this coach, the situation he found himself hasn't been easy at all because
Mm.
he was able to play just one match. And he joined the team recently. The people we are going to compete with, some of them have had coaches for 5 years, and even with that, they played 3 or more matches. So the preparation isn't good.
Without yeah, I get you. Without getting into the politics involved in this, like getting a coach with limited preparation matches to actually lead us, what do you think might have been uh, the leading reasons why, the football association decided to carry on with this particular coach, regardless of his limited comes to the preparation matches?
You mean the previous coach, or are you talking about? Because they should have fired the previous coach earlier,
Mm-hmm.
which would have given the current coach
Right.
enough time. But they didn't do that.
Okay. Okay.
This
Yeah.
yeah.
That actually makes sense. That makes sense. So, looking at the full group that Ghana is going to play against, right? Panama, England, Croatia. If I could ask you to be honest, right? Do you think Ghana is in a position to qualify from this group?
Okay, so I'm a Ghanaian, and my analysis might be a bit biased, but
Mm-hmm.
being objective, it wouldn't be easy. But
Okay.
the Panama match is a must-win match, and if they win that match,
Why would you call it a must win?
well, so far this tournament they've increased the teams, which means those who will even be third, they will pick 8 of those teams. And so, if
Mm.
Ghana is able to beat Panama and manages a draw amongst those 2 matches between England and Croatia, they are almost through.
Okay. That's actually an honest assessment of the situation. Let's move on to the elephant in the room. Thomas Partey. You might have heard that he's been denied entry into Canada, meaning he would most likely miss the Panama game. However, he's been granted a US visa and he could return for the England and Croatia matches. Also, reportedly, there is a court hearing surrounding him, and so I would like to know your candid take. How does Ghana handle the party situation, and in your estimation, right, does his absence against Panama mean? What does his absence against Panama mean for the Wednesday game?
Okay, so Partey is one of our best players. On his day,
Mm-hmm.
he's among the best midfielders in the world. But unfortunately, there are some issues surrounding him that sometimes I, as a person, I wonder what is his mental state and how is he taking
Mm.
everything that's going on. Because recently, the English even came up with an issue about whether they will shake his hand in that match.
Wow.
So, and then
Mm.
the rape cases and all that. And it's quite sad that we live in a world where we claim that until proven guilty, the person should be seen as innocent. But they are,
Mm-hmm.
the world is already passing judgment, and it's quite sad.
Right. And having said all that, I'm also thinking about how, this situation is not affecting only him, but the rest of his team. It could potentially be a distraction for the Ghana team going into the tournament, right? What are your thoughts on that?
Yes, it could be a distraction, and this is why every team needs a psychologist. And I hope they are psyching Partey up and insulating the team from all this chaos.
Yeah. So, in a scenario where Partey is absent, right, do you have any top picks for who could step up in his stead when it comes to his midfield position for Ghana?
I think the person I'm looking forward for him to step up is Caleb UNT. He's a young
Who?
guy, Caleb UNT. I'm
Mm,
hoping Partey not being there, he can take the bull by the horn.
okay. Fingers crossed on that. Hmm. So, beyond the squad names, right, and the rankings, I would like to know what you see when you watch Ghana play in the past, right? What are their habits, both good and bad? Have you done an analysis of these things?
Yes. So the Ghana team, you see, in the match against Germany, Ghana managed to pull one back. So as I was watching
Mm,
the game, all I was looking at was, can these people not lose the game? And in the dying embers
mm,
of the game, they conceded. Now, under the
mm.
new coach against Wales, they also took the lead. And I was once again
Right.
hoping that they could end the match without conceding. And all of a sudden, they switched off.
Mm,
So they have a habit of switching off towards the end of games. We saw it against Germany.
hmm
We saw it against Wales.
Would you call it a tactical problem or a mental problem? This switching of habit you mentioned.
Uh, it's difficult to point out, but I think it's a lack of focus. And sometimes when you are getting tired, you are not at the same level.
Yeah.
Yeah, but a bit of
Yeah.
a mental
Yeah.
issue as well. But with the fact that the current coach is a bit defensive, I'm hoping,
Mm,
yeah, there can be solidity. Even if we are not scoring, we shouldn't be scoring. But the question is,
right. So,
can this team
angling
score?
for a draw.
No, not necessarily.
That's a good question.
My problem is, can they score enough goals? That's
Mm,
that's my worry. If they get through that,
yeah.
yeah.
I feel you on that. So we have our first game against Panama on Wednesday, tomorrow actually. And you've mentioned earlier that it is a must win. Could you get into it a little bit more as to why you are calling it a must win?
Yeah, in terms of football pedigree, the English
Mm-hmm.
are, I'm assuming, the better team in the group, far better than Panama. And
Mm-hmm.
Croatia, too, are a big horse. So, realistically, and not to disrespect Panama, but they
Mm-hmm.
are the closest to 3 points. So, that's why I labeled
Mm-hmm.
it a must win game. And usually, when you win your first match, it takes off the pressure of you. Then you can calmly
Yeah,
look at the
yeah,
other
yeah.
matches.
Definitely, definitely. I would like you to put yourself in the coach's shoes and name your starting 11 against Panama. Go.
Okay, so Atizigi,
Mm-hmm.
Semenya, Ajete,
Mm-hmm.
Opoku, Mensah, and in the midfield,
Mm-hmm.
Sibo and UNT. On the wings,
Mm-hmm.
Semenyo, Niama, and then
Mm-hmm.
in the middle, I'll have Augustin Boachi so that he can support the attack and support the defense. And then I'll pick Brandon Thomas Asante as my striker. So that's my first 11. And we will
Right.
hopefully check when the actual squad drops how much I got correct.
Yeah. So which also in terms of formation, right?
Yes.
What would be your ideal scenario?
4-2-3-1.
Mm. Any reasons?
Well, in the midfield, the wingers, I will expect them to help with the defending, and then I will want 3 midfielders in the middle of the park
Right.
with
Yeah.
one
Yeah.
striker.
Yeah. Mm-hmm. Makes sense. So like you mentioned, England and Croatia, they are also in this group, and realistically, what can Ghana expect from those two games? What do you think?
You see, with this Ghana team, they have an interesting
Mm-hmm.
habit as well when it comes to the opposition. Sometimes when they are facing the not so big names, they
Mm-hmm.
sometimes can underestimate the opponent. But when they meet the big boys, the people that everybody expects to beat them, sometimes they turn up
Mm-hmm.
in ways that sometimes can be very shocking. So it's all about a matter of
Right.
which Ghana turns up on the day. But I think they have it in them to qualify out of the group.
They have it in them to qualify. That is what we want to hear. So, having said all that, I would like you to be completely honest, about this. Would you be more surprised when Ghana beats England or when Ghana loses to Panama?
The habits I just pointed out wouldn't make me surprised in any of those scenarios. But I hope we
Mm,
treat Panama as the best team in the world and they turn up and then they beat them.
okay. Okay. I have one final question for you,
Okay.
and I would really like for you to be very candid and honest. How far does Ghana go in this World Cup and why?
For me, I think, and this is the optimistic side of me, they will
Mm-hmm.
they will qualify out of the group. But as to
Okay.
where they end up, I don't know. But the objective side of me would say they might perform, but might not qualify.
Right. Performed but not qualified. Mm, that is an honest verdict for sure. Um, so what do you think is the one thing that could make or break our entire campaign?
Hmm. Um, Losing another midfielder. It's the midfield seems to be our weakest position in the team, and so
Mm,
with
mm,
Partey not guaranteed to be starting every match,
mm-hmm,
if you lose someone like Calabianchi, I think
mm-hmm.
it's a bit it might be disastrous. And
Yeah,
if we
that
lose
would be
our
critical.
first two matches to that is also a
Mhm.
disaster.
Yeah, yeah. Always honest, Samuel. Thank you. Thank you very much.
Thank you.
So that was Candid Football. Honest, unfiltered, real football talk. Now we want to hear from you. What would you start against Panama? Drop your starting 11 in the comments and subscribe to Candid Football. Share this with a fellow Ghanaian fan and let's watch this World Cup together. Come on, Ghana. Bye.